Hi, good evening. Welcome to the bridge call. Good morning, good afternoon.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for showing up today.
Great
It's
to be
getting close
here.
to
Nice to
that
see you.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if
So,
you want to talk a little bit about the solstice tomorrow.
the solstice is tomorrow.
Mhm.
I just wanted you guys to be aware that if you're like wondering why you're feeling like you're in a tornado or being in the throes of something, and it usually happens, before and after. That's probably what's happening to me. I'm in the solstice.
Right.
And
Okay.
apparently we're in the new year. We've been in the new year for a while. 2024.
Okay.
New year
Are
energy.
you talking Julian calendar?
Julian calendar, yeah, I believe. Yeah,
Okay.
Julian calendar.
Right.
But energetically, we're already in the 2024. So they say.
Okay.
I don't know. If anybody can verify that, would be great.
Right.
So let's open it up with a little prayer in a circle and come together, sync up. If you can all just sit back and relax. Danny, did you want to do that or?
Sure. Sure.
All right.
We bring
Everybody's.
in.
Oh, sorry. Gonna get everybody to sit back and relax.
Yes.
Close your eyes.
Okay.
Give you a second.
Let's take a couple of deep cleansing breaths right down to your belly button. Breathe in that light of the universe and release all that does not serve you. Let it go. Relax. We call on all our spirit guides of light, all our angels of light, and all the other beings of light that are surrounding us here to round about us and as a collective and surround us with your energy, with your light, with your love, with your protection at this time. That we are creating a ball of white light around this group here today, a light of protection, a light of connection to source, where we may get messages, where we may have more energies between us at this time, and that it's a conducive for a wonderful relationship here today of like-minded people meeting together as one, as a collective soul here today to discuss certain subjects and to bring awareness to things that we need to know and learn and grow at this time. And we thank all these wonderful beings, these angels and guides of light, for assisting us here today, and if at all give us some messages here that we might need to learn and to grow and to expand with, as we accept all of this here as manifest right here and now. And so it is.
So it is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
There we go.
So, yeah. So Danny, did you want to bring on what it is that you were wanting to do, or do you just have
Yeah,
everybody?
we mentioned last week, we're going to talk about that connection between your emotions and your body, and how your emotions and even your mind thoughts can affect your body in rigorous ways. And so I have the books here. It's called the Ayurvedic books. They're humongous. As you can see, this is one half. This is only one half.
Half.
And in it, it's like a very similar to a dictionary. It starts with the letter A. Things that we have, like we're talking here, allergies, alcoholism, all these different ailments that we have, Achilles tendon. And so you can go through this book and look up an issue that you may have or a loved one and see what the actual emotional cause behind that is, that connection. So I'm going to read a little bit on the introduction of how they explain this about ours. So a lot of this, I'm just going to read from here a few lines that really explain what Ayurvedic medicine is about and this connection between the mind and the emotions and the body. And they're talking about here, the truth about our childhood is stored up in our body. And although we can repress it, we can never alter it. Our intellect can be deceived, our feelings manipulated, our perceptions confused, and our body tricked by medications. But someday the body will present its bill, for it is an incorrigible as a child who still whole in spirit will accept no compromises or excuses, and it will not stop tormenting us until we stop evading the truth. It's all about the truth. So here they're talking about the bodily functions is a continuous adaptation process, which in turn reflects the contents of your mind and your emotions. In your consciousness is continuously affecting your body and vice versa. In many ways, the body and the mind imitate and imprint each other. Ultimately, your consciousness underlies and is the final determinant of everything, and the body reflects this vividly. In the meantime, what is in your consciousness is determined by your life experiences and by the nature and history of your soul. However, a previous success of soul development in previous lifetimes does not necessarily mean that this level of success will manifest in this lifetime, as all lessons and developments that the soul wants to have in this lifetime. Some illnesses, ailments, and disruptions of function and disease are karmic paybacks, in the sense that they put the individual through experiences that they put others through in previous lives. To take a simple example, marks or sores on the body indicate memories that are scarring the soul, and they need replacement with more positive programming through experiences in your life. Another way in which illnesses and such can happen is when the individual's life goals are not met. The individual then feels so frustrated that bodily function goes awry. The result is that the particular interpretations and interventions that the individual does about the situation are reflected in the disorder that develops. So,
Yep.
the key factor in all of this is the thought form or the patterning of your consciousness in the mind, which affects the body through the processes described above. Everything begins and ends in the consciousness, and the body is a kind of last-ditch defense arena regarding the consciousness problem that is precipitating the disturbance. Something is already in our consciousness, and our body has taken the rap for this. Illnesses and ailments therefore represent the final warning system regarding what is going on in your consciousness. Symptoms and syndromes are what we express unconsciously, that we are shoving into the shadows, that part of us were things that were not acceptable to us and to those around us, especially during the impressionable childhood period. Illnesses and ailments are linked to beliefs and changes of beliefs about oneself, the nature of one's relationships with others, and one's position in the social world and the universe. Not feeling part of a social unit or not feeling valuable, uncontrollable stress, social instability, lack of resources, unexpected threats, deep longing and frustration are all symptoms of what we reside in our infancy. These suppress the immune system by generating and maintaining negative self-reactions and beliefs that one's position or situation in the world The mental thoughts and emotional patterns that precipitate most diseases in the body are criticism, anger, resentment, guilt, shame, grief, and fear. These are the worst emotions. When this control mania occurs, it results in disorders such as arthritis, in which the environment impact systems are affected. And then they talk about each emotion and what it causes. I don't know if you want to hear some of this. What anger causes, what resentment causes, what guilt causes, grief. It goes through the whole list. I can just pick one of them. How about resentment? Resentment is based on a feeling of victimization and powerlessness, and it turns into a smoldering fire that eat and fester away at the body until diseases like cancer and tumors develop. So each one of these emotions can have a really adverse effect on different body parts. So this is very old technology. This has been around for thousands of years, where the Ayurvedic practitioners have put this all together. I'm not going to go any further because that's basically the information is from our childhood and from our past lives. We carry deep emotions, whether it's resentment, anger, victimhood. And as we don't resolve these issues year after year after year, they manifest in a physical form and cause disease. So I don't know if anybody has a comment on all of this. Yes, no, you agree, don't agree?
Yeah, it's interesting too, because I was talking to a friend of mine before I left for CR. She got cancer, and so I sent all the healers I knew. And she was actually a life coach for like 9 years. She has many years of sobriety and Alcoholics Anonymous, did a lot of work on herself, did landmark, did all kinds of stuff. And she got cancer. And sent all the healers and everything her way, and because she didn't want to go through the whole normal chemo and radiation, all that. But it's just interesting how you could be doing a lot of work and then something else is not getting addressed, and it what's the word, creates dis-ease in the body.
Festers, grows,
Festers and manifests. Yeah. So it's just and then she did share with me, how, she's done all this work and everything, but she got that she was missing a bit of an ingredient to the package. And there's a spiritual side to things that, like, even for me in the last 2 weeks, it's just been a emotional roller coaster ride for me. And then I was listening to Gabor Mate, and how certain individuals that will do certain traits, certain characteristics, like people who take care of others a lot, will be the ones to get cancer. So I was listening to him and how it manifests in our bodies according to our beliefs on how we live life. So if you're one to be a certain way, that would bring on rheumatoid arthritis. If you're a certain way this way, you'll have back issues, and it boils down, diabetes or strokes, all kinds of stuff. And, and when I am going through the dark shadow, like night of the soul that I'm going through, I want to load up the machine guns and just start firing off and being angry and stuff. But I know that if I do that, it's going to create problems in my body, So it's about letting it go sooner than later. Because if we don't address it, if we don't get it out,
Mhm.
So believe me, the warrior self in me, the Leo side in me, the whatever side in me that is insane and crazy wants to go nuts on some people, because that would mean that I
Being
don't have to do
postal?
work. Yeah, yeah. And that would mean that it's not my fault. It's your fault. And, somebody's got to pay.
Um,
It ain't going to be me. But in the end, it would be me.
it
Right.
would be you.
So it's a looping effect.
Mhm.
And I call it driving on the highway and never getting off. Like you see the
Really?
exits all the time, but you'd never take them.
Hamster wheel, whatever you want to call it.
So you take the exits, like get off the highway and take the exit. Yeah, because then you start a looping effect. So then it becomes like inner becomes outer, which affects the inner, which affects the outer, and you're just in this looping
Exactly.
effect.
We're mind, body, spirit, and you can't separate the three. They're so
Yeah.
intertwined. They're so intertwined. That's why, unfortunately, our medical system only treats the body, and it doesn't do a very good job. It doesn't do a very
Yeah,
good job.
and then a specific thing that I've been working on for the last 30 something years has been like I don't have my own place again. And so I'm living in other places and stuff. So, I did a meditation, we're going to release victim. It's like, I'm not a victim, but when you're not living your best life, there is a victim quality to it. Like, oh well, or poor me, or maybe this is the best it gets, or however way you say your victim sentence, right? So
Right. Well, that's what I read. They talked about a life unfulfilled, all the things you desire and want in your life that they don't come. So it
right,
brings on resentment and anger because your life is not going well.
not
And
going
then
the way
that
you
can
think it should
facilitate
go.
disease. Sorry?
Exactly. It's not going the way you think you should go.
Exactly. And we get very upset about it. And why is my life not where I want it to be? And all of this. But I wanted to mention something also because I've been doing this for a while for people. Is I see some people who are whatever their ailment or illness is, they'll do say the holistic methods, and they're doing this and they're doing that, and they're finding that even though they're doing the work, the physical part, they're not going after the emotional, and they get very few results. And what I see most of the time is unworthiness. It's huge that deep down they don't feel worthy of being healthy, of having a wonderful life. So
Yeah,
they can take all the pills they want, all the supplements, all the naturopaths they go,
yeah,
and they get very little results because deep down inside, they don't feel they're worthy of being healed.
yeah.
I see that a lot.
Well,
Unworthiness is huge.
complacency has kicked in so much, like, oh, what's the use? Right. And then it just
Yeah,
spirals down from
they
there.
give
What's the
up.
use? I already tried that, or,
That's right.
I'm not, I'm not gonna get it anyways. This
I'm never going
complacency.
to be healthy. I'm never going to be happy.
Well, the thing
All
about
the,
doing the work on this, not having my own place right now, which I've worked on for a million years, and it's like, how can I have more juice there? You know what I'm saying? So I
yeah,
go in, okay, I obviously have a victim somewhere. I'm open, I'm available. Let's look, right? And so I go in and I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not guilting
no,
out or anything, but obviously there's a flavor of victim. There's the taste of victim
something.
in the
Yeah.
story, right? And then I
Mhm.
was able to get at another side to it that I didn't really fully look at. Like I knew it was there. And that
Okay.
was I was angry at the fact that I was not provide safety because we moved
Uh,
around so much, right?
right.
So by the time we did settle, it was already imprinted now. It's like,
Yeah, it is.
now you got to be armed, you got to be strong, you got to be ahead, you got to have it figured out, you got to like, so then all these new identities kicked in. So I was surprised to see how all of that had, so I was basically angry at the fact that I wasn't provide safety, because that created a whole ripple effect of identities that weren't me either.
Yeah.
Right.
Obviously, you were very young at the time too.
Yeah, I was very young.
Susceptible, right? So
Yeah,
that adds to it.
so it's like a repeat of when I was like, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'm bouncing and bouncing around from house to house, and I'm like, oh my God, what is happening?
Wow,
And
that
then,
pattern's still there.
yeah, and then even the new career and just too many moving targets, right? So it was
Right.
interesting what came up, and it doesn't feel good. I don't like feeling uncomfortable. Nobody does. I don't like it. I love being optimistic, happy, enthusiastic. Like, let's go talk to some people.
Right.
But this stuff's got to be
Good.
done. It's got to be done. So I wanted to put it out to anybody out in the group that if there's any ailments that you're experiencing, let us know.
Or
And
loved
then,
ones.
or somebody
Yeah, we
yeah,
can
like,
go through the book. We can go through the book here. Someone wants to know what the emotional cause of diabetes, whatever it is.
yeah.
So
let's
Lou
play.
Gehrig's disease. I mean, there's pick one, guys. What would you like to know about?
Does it work for symptoms and then you find out what it is for? Like
I didn't
have
hear that.
Like I have a pain in the left side muscle just below the ribs. It's
Right.
taking a long time to heal. So what could be the cause of that or emotion behind that?
Well, this book is all about the names of the issues, so I'd have to have a name for what you've got. So
if
I can look it
check,
up.
the pain is due to inflammation.
It's a catch, like
Is it
a catch.
inflammation?
It's
I
due to
bend down.
inflammation and food she's eating.
Yeah, look for inflammation. That's it.
I can
Well, that's
look up
funny, Alva. I was gonna
inflammation.
say, Alva, I'm expecting you to be saying some stuff tonight, and I forgot to say it. You're like,
What?
Yeah.
what's happening here?
Pain is always inflammation, and it's tied into foods you eat.
Roxana, do you
That's,
hear that?
that's
Very much
interesting
so.
because I was going to ask about migraines earlier, and then I thought, no, that's environmental.
No, it's often food you eat as well. Chocolates,
Yeah.
But that's
Combination of both.
environmental.
Sugars.
That's environmental because I've dealt with the migraines. I don't get them as badly anymore, but I know. But I wondered Ayurvedically if they added stuff
Okay.
to it,
Yeah, absolutely.
it's
But
still tied.
it's
Well,
environmental
let's
because foods
find
were one,
inflammation.
but pressure, weather pressure, weather patterns, they all seem to affect it too. Because I was a sufferer and I know a lot of them. So I think that fits into what Andrea was asking too.
The other thing you have to remember is that sometimes you have allergies that cause inflammation. And an example would be you can eat mushrooms today, but you can't eat mushrooms for the next 4 weeks. If you do, you have a reaction to them. So sometimes the foods that you're eating, you don't realize that you're actually allergic to. So with headache, it's always tied into there's food getting into your digestive system, which gets into the bloodstream and then causes issues. And yes, it's tied into the environment, but it's always tied into food as well, whether you realize it or not. Yeah.
Sorry, just to clarify, Alva, I consider food an environmental issue. It's choices you make about lifestyle.
Outside of you coming in.
Yeah. But part of that has a lot to do with sugars. Look at the sugars that are in all foods.
For sure.
Sugar is a toxin.
Can I ask about my thing again? It's a muscle catch. like I bent down to pick up something and I got a bad pain in the side.
So muscle,
Yeah, a muscle is like crunched up tight.
tight
So
muscle. It's like
I can
fascia.
read you what inflammation has here. Now,
Yeah,
they
okay.
actually go into great detail, the inflammation of abdominal, of brain, of the bones, but just
Yeah,
generally what inflammation is here.
Abdominal, yeah.
I don't think they
Stomach.
have that. Well, they do have the abdominal cavity lining, so I don't know if that's what your issue is
Just
or
wait.
not. But we can just read what generally what inflammation is all about.
Right,
Inflammation
yeah.
is about flame throwing, inflamed thinking, and fearful enraged seeing red, intense implication anxiety, and implication anger. I know that's a mouthful. The experience is of being beset on all sides by inexorable and continuously irritating and threatening forces. They also have the experience of constantly shooting themselves in the foot, and they are disapproving of and disgusted with themselves. It all got started in a dysfunctional family in which things were always in an uproar and nothing worked out very well. So I don't know if that resonates with you at all.
I'm sure it does. And simply put is, what is it you can't stomach that's in your life?
There you go. What is
Mm.
irritating you, inflaming you?
And when it happens to you, how does it serve you? You can't go out, you can't go shopping, you can't meet someone. What is the purpose of it? Well, how is it serving you by having this? That's important.
How is it affecting your life?
Mhm. Mhm.
Any
So,
comments?
Roxana, did you get clear as to what?
I got it, but nothing matches. Like, yeah. It could be emotional too. Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah. Maybe you have to
That's all.
check out Daniela's fascia maneuvers Thursday nights.
Tuesday
You
night.
know,
They address all
I-
that.
I was just going to say that it's Veronica, by the way, that whenever something goes on in my body, I ask the question of what has just happened, what has just taken place, what is going on, a number of questions to figure out why. And I was just talking to Danny today because I woke up with a sore throat this morning and the beginnings of, a cold. Or feeling like that with my body all, kind of like pains and aches, the typical flu symptom sort of thing. And I said to him, I've had to kind of look at what happened yesterday and what happened in two conversations in particular. And one was a conversation that I did not want to hear, which was around a friend who is looking at suicide as an option. And it just exhausted me. And so then later, I had a text from another friend who I've been really, really supporting. And they, I asked them to do something and they said, no, but it was the agreement we had was that they were going to do this. And so now I have to speak up, I have to talk to them about it. And so in both cases, I said to Danny, I was looking at my body going, why did my body just start to shut down like this? And it is just exactly this conversation. One, I didn't speak up, so my throat's been sore. And the body exhaustion is just that this, it just really on a level exhausted me hearing about this friend and this possible suicide. So now what's there is me working through speaking up and also being able to let go and unattach in a certain way, but also being supportive in a certain way. And then first supporting myself through this whole thing. So I just wanted to add that because I just think that our body is such a barometer and it just can that quickly hit us And I'm sure there's others of us that experience that, you know, something goes on. And if we ask the question, why did my knee give out? Or why did this happen? Or what was this about? We can many times look at what was happening in it, and then we're like, oh, there it
Right.
is right there.
I
So
have to agree.
yeah, yeah. So I just wanted to share that because, you know, as I'm listening, I'm like, wow, look at that. And I already knew
Yeah.
this, but you know, sort of
Not
uh
information. The other thing you have to be really aware of is because we're all becoming extremely sensitive and aware, our
mhm,
bodies reacting twice as fast as they would have before.
right.
Mhm.
So
So you,
literally from
Agree.
yesterday to today,
yep, you
right?
have to keep asking the
Right?
question. Yep, yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Like it literally,
So
I
for,
got this conversation at 6 at night, and then I woke up like this morning going, okay, wait a minute here. Very, very good information about the sensitivity. Yeah. Wow.
yeah, right.
Yeah,
Nice.
like I said last week, we're like getting bombarded with solar flares, crystals, codes, everything, and our body is not equipped to integrate and
Handle it.
download this at the speed that it's coming in. Also, too, right? So it's tons of information coming in, and then and
Mhm.
the information that we've been carrying all these years is not going to apply to where we're going. So it's like we got to let go of the old and allow the new, and it's happening super fast.
Oh,
Yeah, you
accelerated.
know, I don't even know. Sorry, Lucy, I don't even know if I use the terms old and new anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like we're just so expanded that, you know, it's like an immediate answer to what is happening. And I don't go, oh, well, this is an old or an old new. I don't know. I just don't know if I use those terms anymore.
Well,
You know,
the
I understand what
breakdowns
you're saying though.
the breakdowns that I've been having this week is all coming from my childhood. So
So you're past, right?
it's older. It's not
Right.
like, oh, I had a conversation with somebody today, so now I'm
Recently.
going to have a breakdown for the next 2 weeks. No, this thing is
Mhm.
unraveling. It's like, it's picking up speed and it's
And you
like,
know what?
okay,
It's like almost saying, it's almost like saying to you where we're not, it's not a common conversation to say to somebody, congratulations on that.
exactly.
You know, that's
Right.
something that
Like,
we don't find that we say to each other, like, good for you, kudos, or congratulations. That's like awesome, you know?
well, I called Danny and he's like, oh, good for you.
Right.
Yes.
I'm like,
When
oh,
things
thank
come
you.
up, it's in our face. It's time to resolve it, right? Because we're
Right.
going to let it go,
Yeah.
Right.
right?
So one of the
I know
things
it's
you have
not
to,
easy.
go ahead.
What's that, Alva?
One of the things you have to recognize is that it's putting energetic blockages within the physical body. So when you recognize it, recognizing it is the first step, and then going
Yeah.
back and finding out why it's there is the second
Mm-hmm.
step. And if you can forgive yourself, forgive whatever the issue was, there's the point where you really heal and you start letting go. But it's like an
Mm-hmm.
onion. We have to take it back layer by layer by layer.
Mm-hmm.
Well said.
That's right. And I did get earlier when you were talking, I was thinking, you know, that forgiveness piece is just so huge.
So big, so big. You know, I wasn't going to go back to work until January, and I finished a course I was taking. It was just a refresher for me. And since that, every 2 days I get a phone call for someone to work already. So, you know, it's obviously
Right.
time.
Yeah.
People need
Yeah.
help.
So, TB,
So
did you get the meaning of migraine? Danny, did you look up migraine or?
I can.
Okay.
Would you like to hear migraine?
Yes, TB was asking about migraine. And before we move on
Okay.
to
Sometimes in Ayurvedic, it could be 2 or 3 different issues, and you have to decide which one of those. Let's see, under M, I'm in the second book here. It's a massive book.
massive. have a
M
lot
N
of
O
ailments.
P. There's N.
One emotion can create
Migraine.
tons.
M-O-G. Well, there's diseases and ailments here I've never heard of before. Oh, did I go over that? I missed it. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, so I was surprised when I became
Migraine
aware.
headaches.
I was just trying to fill in the space. Okay, go ahead.
Now, in migraine, there's 4 choices. So you have to pick which one that resonates with you. Oh my God, I'm wrong. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different possibilities for migraine. We'll just start at the beginning. Migraine headaches are all about love starvation, a longing for mother's love or that someone close. Their love inputs came out of a mother's priorities and concerns in a patriarchal household, not unconditional or in response to their needs. They therefore have an abiding fear of rejection and abandonment, in response to which they developed a perfectionist compensation attempt, trying to earn their right to be loved. They feel that they have to hump to make it in life, and that they have to make something of themselves and accomplish something. They therefore drive themselves and push themselves to strive to get things done. It's a life and death imperative feeling that they have to achieve the goal to accomplish the outcome. But when they complete the project, it sets the stage for the realization that this achievement isn't going to bring them the desperately longed unconditional love that they desired. And it sets the stage for another golden orb pursuing project, and that in turn sets off the headache. I don't know if that resonates with anyone.
Too much pressure on yourself.
Yeah, oh, definitely. And one of the other issues is overload. They feel overwhelmed with information and unable to integrate it. Another issue is frustrated. They feel that something has to be achieved or be done, that something is being demanded of them. There's a good deal of fear or resistance. Another one is compulsive conscious, pious, staunch, and conscientiously uncompromising, rigid, intolerant, and duty dominated, exacting, achieving, and laying everything out in grids and charts and lists. That's, I guess you could call anal. Another one, they use the F
Too
word.
much pressure.
What's that?
Too much pressure.
It seems to be amount of pressure you're putting on yourself that it's not being resolved. And so the headache just starts. That's what it sounds like in all of these things, eh? Dislike love for being driven and resisting the flow of life. As a result, they are suffering from nervous strain generated by the requirements and the responsibilities of life. That talks to me about being overwhelmed, totally overwhelmed. Another one is worthless, being sublimated emotions and sexual fears arising from smother-loving sexploitation by the mother. They are guilt-grabbing, accident-prone, and self-destructive out of an unconscious feeling that they have caused and deserved this invasive violation. There's many meanings here, so I don't know, TB, if any of this resonates with you.
I was just curious about it because it's an issue that I managed to resolve through a variety of strategies, including what I classify as broader environmental issues. Like, it's not genetic. It's a variety of things like atmospheric weather. It could be foods. It could be stress. It could be
A number of things.
Yeah, and anything in the environment, really.
Electrical.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, let's go deeper on that. You talk about the environment. Maybe there's a fear that things are going to harm you. that you have this, say that person has in their mind, oh, I always get bothered when it rains or when it snows or it's cold or hot, that there's that fear built up that, oh my God, it's supposed to be cold tomorrow. I can expect to have something wrong happen to me. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, when I had it, that wasn't the issue. It was primarily, it seemed to be, when I broke it down and I studied it, it seemed to be, one of mine was for sure barometric pressure. But foods definitely played in, as it wasn't Lucie who said that before, not
The
Roxanne.
No,
Yeah,
Alma.
somebody, and I think
Alma
Andrea
did.
said it. Elma? Oh, okay. Sorry, I apologize. Yeah, it was just, I'm finding the whole thing interesting, the association of specific symptoms with Ayurvedic.
Yeah, they have many. Well, there's many causes for a headache. So what if this thing with food also could be emotional? Why would some foods bother us over other foods? And when we do the work, when we do the past life work, and Alan talked about this in a video we've done, that many, if not most, allergies are past life related. So there's an emotional quotient to an allergy most of the time. We think, well, it's my body just can't handle this food. What if there's an emotional cause of that was past life related, where you almost died eating an egg because they were rotten, and you have that in your cellular memory? Well, the last time I ate an egg, I got really, really sick. So I'm just going to spit it out and have a reaction to an egg. Do you see where I'm going with this?
I can see that being a possible issue, but I think much of today's food doesn't resemble the food we had, that our ancestors had.
I'm 100% on your
And
page.
that's a huge issue in itself.
Yeah,
It
it's a
is.
big time issue.
All the genetic modification, all the pesticides. You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, it's difficult
You're
to
right.
get good food these days.
Yeah, it definitely
Exactly.
gets complicated.
It's
I
very
used to suffer
complicated.
migraines about 18, 16, 17. And then my mom, she took me to this healer. We had to go down into the basement and be very secretive about it because it was like very unknown back then.
Voodoo.
And yeah, so she just she placed her hands on my head and she goes, "You have way too much information in your head."
Really?
And then that was it. Like she just released all this stuff out of my head, and that was the last migraine I've ever had.
Wow.
And then she
Yeah,
had a
there's
little
many
decanter,
causes.
a little Avon decanter, and it was a little fawn, like a baby deer. And she says, "Spirit
Mhm.
tells me to give this to you, and it represents compassion for self." I'll never forget
Wow.
it, because I was like, "Where am I? Who are you?" I was a teenager at the time, and I never got migraines after that because it just started bringing on compassion. But yeah. So, Manon, you have
Anything else that you like me to look up?
yeah, Manon's got her hand up now.
Yeah, I'm waiting patiently. I want to make sure everybody gets their answered, but I have a couple of things. One is the foot pain that started a week ago, and the other one is that you were talking about environment, and I have a fear that the cold weather is going to hurt my shoulders, and guess what? The shoulder is hurting. So those
You are
two,
absolutely
Well, don't
right.
have
You
the
get the grand
fear.
prize.
right?
You
Yeah.
win a new car.
So a couple of questions.
Yeah,
Are you diabetic?
Me? No,
Okay. Left foot or right foot?
both feet.
Both feet. Okay. Left foot is always past life. Right foot is the present. So there's a complication from the past coming into the present. And often your feet, believe it or not, are often tied into the connection between your head and your neck and blocking of the nerves the vagus nerve going down through your head, causing a blockage to cut off the circulation in your feet. Left foot is the feet are often about, left is about being stuck where you are, and the right foot is often about what can't you step out into that you need to be doing. Now,
Wow.
there are some other things that can be dealt with it, but that's kind of the general thing going around with your
Right.
feet. So go
Yeah,
on there.
that's, that's really interesting because it's not just the pain, but these days, because it's cold, when I get up in the morning, my feet they get so cold that they actually start hurting.
Yeah,
The whole foot, not just the bottom.
yeah, that's circulation, and it starts in your
Yeah.
neck, believe it or not.
Yeah, that's in your neck. That's why you're having shoulder pains. Because of the
Yeah,
cold.
well, yeah. This may be the posture.
The right bone is connected.
If you have
to the
cold hands or
left bone.
feet, it's generally your thyroid.
Hmm.
I don't know
Have you
if you
ever had
heard
that
that, Minnow.
tested, Minnow?
What's that?
Have you ever had your thyroid tested?
Not
That'd be
sure,
an-
but who was it that checked me and said my thyroid is okay? It wasn't physical. I think it was maybe it was Winnie. She said my thyroid was okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just a thought. So, do you want me to read? It's left foot you have your problem?
Sure.
Left and right. Yeah,
Okay,
left
I'll
foot
read
thin.
now this is general for just the left foot, and then it goes into real detail, whether you have Achilles or bunions or what. So this is what left foot problems are about. Vulnerability issues, unwillingness to receive support, and refusal to allow themselves to be taken care of by the universe or by other people.
Mhm.
Does that resonate with you?
Yeah, that resonates. Yep.
And then, so what is the actual issue with your left foot?
Both feet, the bottom of the feet gets really painful when I walk or stand, and it actually gets red. The spots that touches the ground, both of them.
You wouldn't call that Achilles tendon, would you? I wouldn't
No.
think so.
And sometimes on my plantar fasciitis, I start getting pain in the plantar area too.
Okay.
But I've had that in the
base
past. It got
problem.
better. Now it hurts again.
Okay, let's see what else we got here. Side of the foot, instep problems, arch problems. What else we got here? Arch of the
plantar
inside
fasciitis.
step, outer side of the instep. Boy, they really go into detail here. Below the ankle on the inside, below, you're talking bottoms of your feet?
Yes.
Tender feet, would you say it's tender?
Very tender.
It is?
Yes.
Okay, so when it comes to tender feet, they talk about a hypersensitivity and oversympathetic with the underdog in a hurt nurturing pattern. Wow, that's a mouthful. Hypersensitive and overly sympathetic with the underdog
Yeah.
in a hurt nurturing pattern.
Yep. That's me. Yeah.
Does that resonate with you?
Yep.
So now that you're knowing the issue, or most of the issue, understand, I guess now go to why. Right?
Right.
Any suggestions, Lucie?
To the what?
Any suggestions?
To Minow's feet? I was trying to
Yeah,
ask
boy,
Spirit
they've got a
what
lot of
is
things
going
here.
on with
High
it.
arches, heel digging, very large feet, very small feet. Wow,
Yes.
there's a lot of detail on the feet.
She has to take her power back and be in charge. For
Yeah,
giving
because
like
they're
power back.
showing me you're walking like this.
Cautiously.
Walking like a duck, actually.
Yeah, like you're walking like very carefully, very
Yeah.
softly.
Yeah,
Don't want to
yeah.
disrupt anything. Like you're being
Right.
super quiet. That's how they're showing me you're walking, and I'm like, what is going on there?
She's
Well,
vulnerable.
So I'm
because,
That's the
afraid to step
vulnerability issue.
down.
yeah.
So are you unwilling to receive support?
I do. But I keep thinking that I'm not getting support.
Oh, there you go. That's the left foot problems. It's not receiving support
Right. Yeah.
and refusing to allow themselves to be taken care of by others.
Yeah, I think trusting, like
Trust issues, maybe.
trusting where you step, trusting yourself, trusting
Mhm.
on it's okay to move forward. It's okay to stand here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Trusting in all of that.
Yep.
Mhm.
Trust. I have a big
Trusting-
issue with trust. And like you
Trust
were
the fact
saying,
that-
it comes from childhood.
Yeah, you're allowed to be here, you're allowed to stand here, you're allowed to walk this way if you want, you know, it's just trust whatever you wanna,
Yep.
yeah. And the fact that the ground supports you.
Mm.
You're like stepping on it like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it.
Yeah.
And you
I
know, it's
better not
pretty
touch the
cold out
ground. It'll
there.
hurt me.
It's pretty
What's
what?
that?
What did
I
you say,
just
Mano?
said I'm afraid to touch the ground because I might get hurt.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I was gonna say that it's really cold, but I'm thinking that maybe I need to ground myself, go outside and step on dirt, but it's too cold.
But you can intentionally do it. Intentionally ground
right.
through your feet, and because you got like chakras under your feet that are going right down into Gaia. So
Mhm.
if you envision the roots coming out from your feet going down into Mother Earth and grabbing like high frequency healing properties from Gaia and having it come back up the roots, like seeing that your feet are actual connectors, healers, transmitters, communicators.
Mhm. To the planet.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be
Planet.
standing on the grass. You can do it in your living room.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah.
Because
And
elephants,
ask Mother Earth to assist you, to protect you
Elephants-
so you can feel supportive.
how elephants speak to each other, like say they need to tell, one elephant's going to tell the tribe like 20, 30 kilometers out that there's water here. They just stomp on the ground.
Mm.
And it sends a signal to the tribe, and then they all come. That's how they communicate.
Really,
Mhm. Mhm.
very
Wow.
interesting.
I think you need to like start stomping.
Oh,
Maybe
no.
that little
Dance.
3-year-old's gotta like, no, that's it.
You know, I'm most comfortable when I put my feet on a soft pillow. I started
Interesting.
wearing pool shoes because my feet hurt so much. I can't stand on hard surfaces. You know, so you're saying
Wow.
stomp. I think that that's
That would
gonna
hurt.
be very painful.
It's very painful. Maybe you
Yeah.
need to jump up and down, like test the buoyancy of the planet, see if it holds you.
Yeah. Go, girl.
Because in the
Jump
beginning,
on
when
the
I started opening
trampoline.
up, I thought, oh my God, if I let anybody see what's going to happen, the earth is going to open up and swallow me up. In the beginning, that's how it felt.
Mm,
So I was like, oh my God, I'm not
really
telling anybody this. It's gonna be
unsupported.
crazy. You know. And so I had to like let a little bit out and keep testing it. It's like, oh, okay, the earth didn't swallow me up. Okay, I'm good. That's how I started.
Wow.
Crazy stuff, man. Yeah.
So maybe test it out, like you said, a little bit.
Yeah, test it.
Well, if
Yeah,
you
so
ever
have to
want to
get
talk
proof of it.
some of this, Menno,
Yeah. Reach
I'm
out.
sorry?
Do you have my contact info?
No, I
Or
do
Lucie?
not.
Yeah, I
You
put
know,
it in the
it's usually
email.
at the bottom.
Yeah, it's in the
Oh.
email.
Okay.
If you read the emails.
You know, we can go through the Ayurvedic stuff and we can, you know, maybe come up
She's
with
busy
something.
tiptoeing through life. All right, who else has
Exactly.
something
Ballerina.
we should
Thank
look
you.
up?
Oh, you're
welcome.
welcome.
Who else has
Anybody
something?
else?
Okay, welcome to the call.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to look up my left hip.
Left hip. Okay. H. What is this? Okay, let's look under hip.
Left hip, left hip.
GH. Okay, H.
So another thing I wanted to share, like I lost a big portion of my sight a few years back. And
What did you look?
a big portion of my eyesight
Oh, right.
a few years back. And yeah, so while I had healers healing the track from my eye to the back, so the gland and everything was all, there was no, it wasn't open. The fluid, it was very dried out. It was depleted, all the stuff. So there was no flow to the eye. So it was, I was going in a blackout. I was blacking out for hours at a time. And then it would come back and then it would black out. But while they were doing that, I had to like get serious about all the emotional things, all the stories I was telling myself about what I don't want to look at, what I'm refusing to see, what I don't want to know about, what, you know, I can't look this way or don't show me. You know, I had anything that I could come up with regarding sight. I just kept saying, you know, help me see, I want to see it, and please show me, and you know, everything. I kept breaking up all the stories that I could have around seeing. And it took a few months of me doing my inner work and my healers doing, they were tag teaming, because I was like, okay, that's it. I'm gonna get a seeing eye dog, and that's it. That's the way it is. And you know, because none of his herbs were working on my sight. And that's the thing where you mentioned, like,
So
I could get a bunch
emotional.
of herbs. Yeah, it was all within. And and he tests all the time, and he was a healer, and he's like, and I was telling him, I'm like, I'm getting a seeing dog, that's it. And he goes, you are not getting a seeing dog. We are going to heal these eyes. And you know, and eventually it did. It all came back. I mean, now that happened years ago. Yeah.
Wow, that was quite an
And
experience.
at the time I was doing a lot of research down the rabbit hole. So I was seeing stuff that, yeah, so
okay, shocking to you.
you know, it's
Right.
like, stop.
So I'm going to read the general hip problems.
Yeah.
And then we can go to the left hip. Okay. So hip problems, all about fear of going forward in major decisions because they feel so unbalanced and because they feel there's nothing to move forward to. They feel they are living in an unbalanced life and that they aren't able to make a forward thrust. They have a rather poor integration of the self with the world around them, and they are afraid of the future. They fear the misuse and abuse of power and strength, either by them or by others towards them. There was an intense imbalance of power in their home, with a severe domination by the wishes of the other family members, but especially by the mother. It had the effect of demoralizing and immobilizing them. Does that ring any kind of bells?
Yeah, partial.
Or the other side of that is they are severely conflicted about and suppressed with regard to sexuality. They were sexually suppressed and yet sexploited at the same time. There was a subtle, seductive, destructive, tantalizing, oh boy, what a word this one is, chasm pattern
riveting.
going on. Yeah, there is a strong mother fixation operative here.
All right.
So I don't know which one works for you.
Is that both hips or just the left?
Yeah, that's general. When you have a hip problem, it's either
Yeah,
the
I know
first
hip
one I
is
read.
moving forward, yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah, hip is usually moving forward.
Hips, legs.
Mhm.
You know, integration of self. They fear the misuse and abuse of power and strength, either by them or by others.
Interesting.
Anyway, so let's go to left hip
Phoenix.
problems.
Yeah.
Okay. Left hip problems are issues concerning the sense of belonging, connectiveness, and intimacy, both
Mm.
sexually and non-sexually. A felt lack of groundedness. This is the urban hermit inability to be vulnerable and close, because to do so is to invite destruction or to judge from the family experience. I don't know if that rings any kind of a
Lovely.
lovely,
Lovely information.
say. A lack of groundedness and an inability to be vulnerable and
For all
close with
you
people.
hippers out there. We have a vulnerability issue.
And I
Like
mean,
I
you were
said,
speaking earlier, you don't know where you're going to go. Your life is kind
yeah.
of topsy-turvy. So obviously you feel vulnerable, right?
Yeah, this is very vulnerable.
Unsupported.
Yeah, and that's what I wrote down with all the releasing I've been doing around victim. It's bringing up, and I didn't have any blame or anger or anything to anyone out there. And then I realized I was angry and living in the victim of not having support and safety. And it's not like I am not supported, but you know, when you have that thing running in the background, it's like, yeah, but so safety and support was a big thing that I was actually very resentful towards. I didn't get it in the first, few years of life. So I created other entities to make it, to survive, right? To make it in life.
We do.
So
we want to survive.
Yeah, and it's exhausting when you're playing roles in order to, and not, just
We compensate,
experiencing and
right?
being.
We compensate for those things that aren't
Yeah.
in our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the realization I've had in the last couple of days. I'm like, oh my God. And then, so now
Oh,
it's
good for
changing
you.
the story, changing that old story to, okay, yeah, so you didn't get that, but now we can bring it in and create it and create support, create safety. And I don't want to say it's an illusion or whatever, but to have some neutrality around it also. Don't create an attachment. Oh, I got to have safety. I have to have support in order to make it in life. Because then we get into another set of neediness and other identities. So it's just creating a new story. So a new story is, life is very, I enjoy life. I trust. I have I'm very free. I'm willing. I have good support. I support myself. I trust myself. All these things that you can say as the new story. Everything I do is
And releasing the old story.
Yeah, so when you release the old story, you got to bring in a new one that is more fitting.
Yeah.
What it is you want to create. Yeah.
That makes
So
perfect sense.
It's been a week. I'm 5 years old again. Oh.
Oh boy.
But you know what, life will set up the stage for you to and it's the ego reacting, but why is the ego reacting, right? It's like, okay, what's this all about? You know, like, why is this happening
Mhm.
this way? Like, because I'll ask another agent in the office is like, are you experiencing this? Like, no. Okay. So I can get angry at the people that are playing the stage on the stage with me, or I could see what it is, how they're serving me. And so what is it that I need to look at? And that's
Perspective,
basically,
isn't it?
yeah, it's basically it. It's like life is serving you. And then I was listening to Jim Rohn earlier today too, and he said, life wants to celebrate you as the benefactory, as the beneficiary, right? So if you grow a garden of flowers and the flowers bloom and they become really beautiful, they are doing that for you. So you are the beneficiary of your garden,
Yeah.
right? So life wants to give to you. You are the beneficiary to life. So it's like whatever
Hmm.
you're sowing, whatever you're growing, they want to give to you. So that was really cool what he was saying today. So,
That's a good.
and in this case, the beneficiary was we need to release old stuff to create
We
a new
certainly do.
story of celebration.
It's a lot of healing.
Oh, I think we're all taking turns. Danny, you went down last week. I'm going down this week, and you know,
Yeah,
Veronica's got
I
to
had
go.
my thing last week.
And I've had spoken to other
Certainly
friends, and
did.
they're a mess too, and it's like, oh God. And then you go,
Tells you the
do I want
energies
that
are
life?
high.
Yeah, it's like, do I want that life? Nah. How about that one? Nah, I think I'll take mine. I'm sticking with mine.
Good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
So I'm
So
glad
anyone else?
this helped you. Yeah, anybody
Yeah.
else?
Is there anybody else? We have a few more minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a question.
Hey, Tina.
On large prostate.
Prostate.
Enlarged prostate.
Yeah.
That's under
You have an enlarged prostate, Adina? No, it just feels like it.
No, a member in my
Not
family.
quite.
Right.
Okay,
masculine
let's
part
see
of
what
it.
this is.
You could use the wand on that too.
Yeah, that's a
Xterra,
good idea.
right,
Charge
Tara?
charge the water in a glass so that they can drink
Mhm.
it and also use the wand on them.
Mm-hmm.
Cross.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
What do we got? Prostate problems. There's two of them. So I'll read this for you. Prostate is about emotional tenseness and impotence due to emotional conflict. They are self-contained and lonely, with a lot of deprivation and grief and depression. There is a significant amount of fatigue and a breaking down and or a giving up. The feeling is that they just don't cut it as a male, or that to be a male is a shameful thing. It is the resultant of severe, I've never heard of this one, tripod rage on their mother's part. Now it is coming to roost in the symbolic center of the masculine sexuality.
Coming to
I don't know if
roost.
that resonates with you, but there's a second half to that. Or it can be about mental fears weakening their masculinity and a belief in aging that deteriorates. Felt sexual pressures to perform, guilt and concern over past carelessness and exploitiveness. They bought the whole 9 yards of the masculine projection and manifestation in the patriarchal culture, and they are now feeling the cost. It came as a result of being thrust into the masculine role by their mother, who wanted them to be the man in the life, or at least a man she could be proud of. They also modeled themselves after their patriarchal father. The net effect is isolation, self-rejection, and power shame. I don't know if that.
Yeah, it's
Sorry?
good. They have to work with their emotion, I suppose. Masculinity.
Masculinity,
I
yeah.
didn't hear that.
I suppose she has to work with emotions for the masculinity.
Yes, definitely. It sounds like a masculine identity,
Mhm.
right?
It's old fear.
Feeling they don't cut it as a male is one of them. And coming to roost as symbolic center, it focuses on the prostate, right?
Mhm.
Mental fears, guilt, and concern over the carelessness and exploitiveness.
Mhm.
So I don't know if you want, I could, for any of you that would like to know something, you can contact me through the email, and I can take a picture of the issue or that you guys are thinking of, and I can forward it to you.
Yeah, that would
Right.
be great.
So
I
you can
have
have it
one, but I
actually in
don't
front of you.
I'm sorry. I have one,
Because
but
I
I
don't
don't
know
know
if you
if
can.
it, I don't know
Go
if
ahead.
it fits in as, I have one question, but I don't know if it fits in as a symptom. Shallow breathing. I know there's emotional stuff connected to it, but would there be anything on that?
Breath
Because
of
I
that's an
life.
wouldn't be
issue.
surprised.
It's the breath of
Breathing.
life.
Sorry, what was that you said,
Life.
Alba?
Breath of life. What
Yeah.
what makes you unhappy that you don't want to live, so you're not breathing?
Yeah.
Give her the full explanation, Danny.
Yeah, that's you're on the mark there, for sure. Breathing. We are. They even got bubonic plague in here. Imagine.
Have COVID?
Everything's in there. We're looking under breathing. EA. We're very close here. This is a massive library of information. What do we got here? Okay, breathing interruptions or breathing difficulty?
No, shallow breathing.
No, so they have that. Breathing
Look at-
interruptions or difficulty or breathing problems. So
Look
do you
up-
want me to try breathing problems?
No,
Well, this
I don't
goes
think
along
would
with what
it wouldn't
Alba
qualify.
said.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Well, in this part of it, it says breathing problems, fear or refusal to take in life fully, which is basically what Alba was saying.
But did it say
feeling
shallow breathing?
It's
But
not really, it's a
That's what
breathing
it is shallow
problem.
breathing. It's not breathing to your full capacity.
There you
That's
go.
what it is. Not breathe, because you're usually hanging on to fear.
Not taking in full breath. Not taking in
Interesting.
life.
Interesting.
it's in
That is an
sentence.
issue in cancer is oxygenation.
Okay, I'll finish this. So fear or refusal to take in life fully, feeling unsafe in the world and that they can't breathe easily. They feel they don't dare live life fully and freely. It came from an untrustworthy and dangerous family. Does that resonate in any way? And it has
Not in the present life, but maybe in a past life.
Or having a love is a poison apple experience. that love leads to their being engulfed and hemmed in and to their being harmed in some way. It is the resultant of an exploitive or passive aggressive, destructive family.
So
Does
let
that
me
ring-
ask, go back to when you're about 5, between the ages of 5 and 7, and what happened that you kept catching your breath because it stemmed into that?
I can't put my
Did you hear
finger
that?
on anything concrete. There was a lot of emotional stuff going on in the house.
Yeah.
But I was sort of not the center of it or
Doesn't matter.
involved. I was the
there.
witness to it, but not yes.
That's all you have to do. So may I make a recommendation that you take some time and focus on your breathing and focus taking a deep breath in and holding it to the count of 4 and then slowly releasing it so that you force yourself to breathe deeper, and that will be the beginning of releasing it.
It's interesting. I did a whole weekend workshop on it about maybe 10 years ago, and I just couldn't relate to the exercises.
Because it sounds like the emotional cause behind it hasn't been resolved.
Could it be past life stuff, Danny?
It could very well be past life work.
Yeah.
Very well.
I
Generally,
can't,
I believe.
I'm having trouble relating it to present life, but yeah.
Okay. So when you read this book, and I've read many, many of these things, they do bring up past lives in here. A lot of the issues are past life related. They'll say it right here in the book. Yes. But I feel one of the first one is, refusal to take in life fully, feeling unsafe, that love leads to problems. A lot of this, there's fear in there.
Is refusing to take in life the symptom or the cause, though?
Well, it's your emotion that is attached to that emotion, that fear of not moving forward or being fully engaged in life. And why is that there? It's usually in your childhood. Something happened in the family and you never felt safe or wanting to move forward in your life by, wanting to participate in life fully. But it could also, like you say, be past life being brought back into this lifetime. Something to think about.
Well, that's helpful. Thank you, everybody.
So on
I
that
hope that
note,
helps you.
we're wrapping
Yes,
up.
we are.
We're going to do a little breathing exercise closing because there's study. We're going to breathe right from the root chakra. So we're going to take some deep breaths, and we're going to put our intention on our root chakra, and we're going to breathe up, out through the top of our head and shoot it out like a whale spewing out water, so then when you come back down, bring your breath back down. You're going to bring it all the way back down to the root chakra. And then you're going to inhale and actually envision your breath going up through your heart, throat, third eye, top of the head, and out. Okay. And we're going to do like 5 of those. And I'll count you down and I'll guide you through it. And just try to relax. And there's no right or wrong. Okay. So we're going to let go of all the pressure that we put on ourselves. So let's do that as we close out the circle and have the intention that you're increasing your gratitude. Okay, so we're going to take deep breaths, grateful for our breath, because the breath is what gives us life. So how is everybody ready to just sit back and close your eyes, and we're going to put our focus attention on our root chakra, so at the tailbone, the base of our spine. And as we take in a deep breath, we're going to start from there, and we're going to start taking a deep breath. And even if you bend your head down a bit to even look down at the base tailbone, and then as you inhale, envision the big breath coming up through your chakras, up into the heart area, up into the throat, the eyes, crown, and out through the top, 6 to 12 inches above your head. All right, so we're going to start now. So we're going to focus on the tailbone, focus on the root chakra, and taking a big, slow, easy breath. And envisioning it going up into the hemispheres and spewing it out 6 to 12 inches above the head, connecting to galactic universe. So we tilt our head down a little bit, going back down to the root, and inhaling nice and slow and in conscious breath up through the chakras, envisioning up, going through, up through your body, up into the head area, and slowly releasing out the top of the head. And then we tilt our head down a bit and start again. And as you are inhaling, allow your head to follow the energy going up. So you'll feel your head wanting to straighten out and let go at the top of your head. So down at the tailbone, we'll do 3 more big breaths. Envisioning it coming up through our body, up through our heart, into our lungs, into the throat, into the third eye, the head, hemispheres, through the crown, and release out. 2 more, starting at the base, up into the sacral, into the lungs, into the back of the neck, to the top of the head, and releasing out through the top of the head, just imagining it coming out like a whale. 1 more. Deep, deep, big breath. As much as you can, pulling and pulling all the way up to the top of the head and releasing. And go back to normal breathing. And these are good breaths to just do consciously. So we also want to increase the gratitude, upgrade the gratitude within us, upgrade the operating system and the DNA, opening up all cellular, releasing all old memories that are ready to go at this time. Bringing in the new codes, the new light, integrating like a cascade of water, like a waterfall, nicely soft, gentle waterfall coming down on the top of your head, over your body, washing you on top and within. And just allowing the codes, the new frequencies to come in and wash through our body, cleansing out our bloodstream, our organs, our fascia, musculatory, skeleton, nervous system, warm water, very clear, spring-like, and having it wash down through our spine, through our hips, down our legs, and out our feet. Opening up all our energy centers, the roots beneath our feet, opening them up, feeding them, nurturing, and asking Mother Gaia for her healing properties, bringing them up through the roots and up through our legs and into our energy centers, and asking Gaia for her assistance. And also bringing it all the way up, back up to the top of the head and connecting with galactic, universal energies. Opening up your crown chakra and allowing in the correct frequency for you, the highest frequency that your body can handle at this time, to allow the upgrades and the downloads and the expansions and continually breathing through all the integrating. So the bigger the breath, the more open the breath, the less resistance, more allowing, opening up your receiving abilities, filling up all your energy centers, and just expanding the energy centers. So your light within the energy centers, expanding them out on the outside of your body. So you can now get an image of the light that surrounds your body and just increase it, expand it out. Good 3 to 6 feet. So you have a huge light body. And if you can, look at the colors that you have in your energy field. See the yellows and the greens and the blues and the pinks and the purples. Which colors do you see in your aura and your energy field? So as we're syncing our energy fields up to create more power, to create more energy, to have more access, we're also going to tap into the knowing that you are your own healer. You have everything you need. You have all the information, all the know-how, all the abilities to give your body, your operating system, everything that it needs. You already have it. You already know it. Just trusting this information, communicating with yourself. Talking to your cells, talking to your DNA, talking to your organs, your skin, your nervous system. Beautiful. So I want to thank everybody that's here in this circle, all the galactic beings, all the spirit beings that are here, the light bodies, all of our higher selves and our souls that have come here tonight to share in the energy, and also for everybody that's going to be listening on the replay. Just to let everybody know that even though you're going through all kinds of stuff, even for myself, we're right on track. We're right on schedule. Everything is happening like it's supposed to. So allowing ourselves to be neutral, letting go of all attachments, being kind and loving to ourselves as we go through this and to each other. I want to thank everybody who participated, who was here holding the space, joining us. And have appreciation for yourself for getting this far.
Mm.
Going through everything you're going through. We have never done this before. So give yourself a break. This is all new territory for us, human beings that are choosing to move on and expand. It's just the beginning. Awesome work, everyone. If you want to stay in that beautiful state, I wish everybody a good evening. And for those that want to come back and open your eyes, you're welcome to do that. So I will close with that. Everybody have yourselves a great evening, and we'll see you guys next week.
Mhm. After Christmas.
Yes, have a great solstice tomorrow. Don't forget, and
Right.
have a good Christmas. And we will see you in
Holidays.
between.
Thank you so much. This was an amazing session.
Oh,
Thank you.
beautiful.
Thank you, everybody.
Oh, you're
Thank
welcome.
you.
We
Thank
need
you.
to share all of
Thank
this.
you.
Yes, and
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Merry Christmas.
Thank
Have a
you.
nice
Thank you
Christmas.
all. Merry Christmas.
Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful
guys.
time
Have a
with you.
happy holiday to
Merry
Take
everyone.
care.
Yes, happy
Happy
holidays.
holidays.
May Santa be good to you.
Be a good Santa to you.
Mhm.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Good
Take
good
care.
night.
Bye.
Good night.